Unique, informative audience participation, light-hearted show with lots and lots of Cayman jokes, culture, and guests. As we talk about things we say and do, it happening every third Friday on Talk Today.
Wha Ah Sayin is a special feature of Talk Today, jointly produced by the National Museum and Radio Cayman. A language, history, and culture show. Remember, it's every third Friday on 89.9 and 93.9 FM.
Proudly sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
See Wha Ah Sayin begins right now.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, I want you to not only love and laugh with us, but learn as we have the wonderful opportunity of being joined by, Caymans and East End's own prime son, Mr. Alvin McLaughlin. Ray, I have to commend you, man. You find the very best people to teach us. So, thanks very much.
He took a while. What was it? Over a year we had him. We had you for bush medicine.
Bush medicine,
Yeah,
a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, and you might have been scarred from that show a little bit.
Yes.
That's an inside joke. You would have to be actually inside here to get that joke. And I don't know if you might not think it's a joke.
Yeah.
But he's back. And thanks to help you with our show, Cox and Groupa. And I was told that you actually might be one of them. Is that?
Yeah, a lot of group. But in my time, we had thousands of group. But today we have them all still. But grouper, when you say grouper, that's a jailbait now. Okay, man. So we had, when I was a boy, the boat go out and you could look for them 9, 10 o'clock and they come. Before they get to shore, you could see the groupers. They have so much scenery.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of them. And the range were like, say, between 5 to 30 pounds each.
Yeah. That's what I heard. I didn't realize 30 pounds go up to. So this is one of these multifaceted topics too. So you got Cox and Grouper, the grouper, the fish. Then you got Cox and Grouper, the nickname.
The nickname, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Cox and Grouper, well, what the nickname comes from is the dry fish.
From the dry fish or the wet one, whatever. Because right now they got one George, some man, that's all he called me. Where's the Cox and Grouper?
And that goes back. Yeah. That goes back to when? How far time?
Well, I'm a 1949 model, so I've been seeing it from then. I come and find it. Yeah.
Also from before then?
Before then, yeah. Lots of them.
Wow. And this I hear kind of spawns from get it? Like
I like it.
Spawns from when the districts kind of got together.
Yes.
And that wasn't a common occurrence all the time, huh?
No.
Not on the land anyway, huh?
Right.
And it was mostly the sporting events. So it would, and this is like highbrow insult. This is like, what we call, this is two West Bears, a.k.a. Conk Bubbies, which, we'll explain that later. But this was pre-teens or teenagers teasing each other, districts coming up to tease each other with. And because y'all were known for your Cox and Grouper, your dry Cox and Grouper.
They get the nickname Cox and Grouper.
Cox and Grouper. Yeah. And the correct pronunciation of it is Cox and Grouper.
Cox and Grouper. Yeah. And trust me, that you cook it all. They fry it, they stew it, they boil it, they bake it. But them days, they didn't make no fish tea from it that I know.
Tea?
They're like how we say we make fish tea,
No, I never heard that.
I never heard of that, but I make fish tea from it.
Oh, no?
No, and it's very good, trust me. And
I'll try that, yeah.
I remember when my grandmother used to cook that big pot of fish run, this group I run down, when she's sharing out the food, because there was plenty of us, when she cooked, she make sure everyone, the grandchildren, get something. And my grandfather would say, Sarah, don't give them girl picnic on that gravy. You can get the boys, but not the girls. So I don't know why was the reason for saying that.
Now, what was the other thing? This is what we want to get from you. This is kind of an ongoing little thing for us. You, growing up, you called it rundown or stew, like stew dinner?
We call it stew dinner.
Stew dinner. That's
Right
I
now
think
it's
it's
recent.
just recent. That's within the
That's,
the other Caribbean people
People
call it.
rundown.
Yeah, but it was always stew or
Stew.
just fish dinner.
A fish dinner, that's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do the conch dinner just like how you do the fish.
Oh, you
stew.
need to stop right now.
Yeah.
You need to stop right now, because I don't know lunch thing. But so there's a lot of directions we can go with that, and we will. And I want you to give us the details of it, so that almost like once you finish listening to this, you can go and make your own.
Right. Yeah, I can remember.
What are you laughing about?
I give you this joke. I can remember as a boy, Mr. Barnell Dixon. He used to saw a lot of the grouper have it on. They call it the range. Sometimes they have about 30 or 40 of them hang out there drying. And this night they had a dance at Mr. Warren's stage, and them days you couldn't dance without jacket and necktie. And they had a sudden man, I can't call his name because his family alive, they might want to crucify me.
I think you told me, let me see my notes where his name is. I will call his name, let me see.
And during the people dancing, and they smell this big smell of cocks and group of man, and everybody looking around, and one time the woman swing him, and somebody see cocks, two half of cocks and group are hanging down over his shoulder, up with his jacket over it, and trust me, they nearly kill him. And when they finally had steal 2 Barnell salt grouper and were dancing, but they never had nothing else put it in, and I guess they were afraid if he put it away, a cat or dog would take it. Oh, Lord, they were good days, boy. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's something. Sorry, go ahead, Mr. Alvin.
But the groupers, they were there, and to me, you didn't have buy none. Every fisherman would give you 2, 3.
See, that's what I was going to ask. If I mean, you would go, and it's a season, right? It was a season then.
It was a season.
What time? Because I was talking.
Like they used to have something. I would say the last week in December, and go right down. You know, when they get spawned, when they start spawn, they used to lay off from them, and you could save all part of them. You save the roe, you save the liver. Some people eat the gill and everything, you know.
Wow, the gills.
The gill.
How do you do that one?
Yeah, cook it down with just stew dinner. You never eat fish gill yet? You look like somebody eat fish gill.
I don't know if that's an insult yet, so I can get back to it. I can do some research and come back to you and find out if it is an insult and how bad it is.
Susan almost off the chair. Thank you, Susan.
No, let's get back to the range of these cocks and grouper. That's not button towners. Get to the range now. Who's in the gang? Where you said the limit to that?
To that?
Yeah.
Well, it came from that side, yeah.
East End side.
From the Borden Town side.
Oh, Borden Town side. So Borden Towners are cocks and groupers too?
Oh yeah, but they used to come east and clean them, and when you clean, they come down, you get 3, 4. So some of them, if you
maybe we have to correct that. I think we had that in the ad.
Yeah.
Cocks and groupers that can extend all the way to Bed and Town.
Yeah, all about.
But this is something as you go through and we get it, we recognizing that even though, and I say this often, even though most of our history is still oral, increasingly there is some recorded stuff, not just the wonderful job at the National Archive of the Memory Bank, but the transcripts that are there for people to read.
Yeah.
Now, when we were looking at this topic and the Cox and group, Caymanians, not just people new to the country, but Caymanians would look at it and say, well, I'm talking about the younger ones, on the 50s, so to speak, Mr. Alvin, right? Not the 1949 models. They're not quite sure, well, what does this mean? Is this an insult? Is this said in a way? As you shared, you're a 1949 model. Yeah. You came and found it before your time. It's a term of reference that wasn't meant to be derogatory.
Right.
Could you, he's trying to ask, could you get in a fight over it?
I get in a fight over it? Not really.
No, man.
I know what you're asking. What you derogatory and all that. Yeah, I think I would fight you for it if you call somebody. That's what it is.
But I would take the chance, say I would. From at the age of 6, I would get in my touch with that gravy mash with plantain or something like that. Yep, that's right.
So it had certain properties and benefits to it, huh?
Benefits.
So we're knowing from very early.
Early, that's right.
I'll tell you what, doing this thing, the biggest trouble I had was the spelling.
The spelling.
I won't spell it Coxson, right? It's kind of like Bosun Bay, Bosun Bay, and the Bosun Bay.
Yeah.
And apparently the correct spelling of it is Coxswain. Coxswain.
But it's still Coxswain Group. Huh?
It's still Coxswain, yeah. But how to pronounce it? Like I said, Bosun Bay is Bosun is spelled that way too. Well, Swain.
But English is
English is a
one of those languages.
not a correct sounding. So that was it. So and then even I come across the Eastern spelling of it might be Coxsin is what I came across with Miss. Who was it? I think the elderly Eastern is what it's called. But I think it might have been welcome.
Okay.
Some welcome, and he's actually with two spelling. He had Coxin, and then he said we spelled it again, Soxsin.
Yeah. Oh, you need to learn how to keep talking while Susan's talking.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't repeat what she said.
And I learned that because I was reading too, so that was, that was getting the limit right there.
Yeah. I mean, he can listen and talk, but not talk, listen, and read.
No.
So what for the listeners? What Susan was saying? Are we ordering lunch?
Conch. We're getting some conch.
Yeah,
I'll do the conch. I'll do rice and beans and extra platinum.
You should put Miss Alvin in this conversation.
Yeah.
She won't put you to cook, sir.
No. I'll take the group I run down.
Yeah, the fish noodle.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fish too.
Well, I refuse.
We want you to. We want you to. At the end, we want you to give us the recipe for that or the breakdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I say this not to offend other people or their sensibilities, right? But it's a fish dinner. It's not a rundown.
It's a fish dinner. And
I'm refusing.
Yeah. I never you really use rundown.
Yeah. It's not about unwillingness to meld into anything else. It's a willingness to preserve what you have, right? And if you don't, for whatever reason, remember and recall, repeat, and make sure they respect what you have.
Right.
How do you expect other people? This particular topic, the amount of work alone that Ray has just around fish talk to one particular type of fish, and I think people say, well, how do you produce a show on that? I'm thinking, I want to wish he had condensed stuff even more.
Yes,
because
you mean dry it down and salt it? And
it's good, and then you dry it. So they salt it and they dry and then you mince it too, and it stay for long. You keep that up in that kitchen that she gets smoky, then she good.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna ask.
One of the things that I asked Ray to help us to maybe get a context, because not only the historical nature and the importance of it, and you shared earlier as we were talking to Mr. Alvin McLaughlin, those of you who don't recognize the famous voice of Mr. Alvin McLaughlin, that he goes beyond just the Pirates Week in his times.
Yeah, and I need to say too that he has an exhibition on at the museum.
Yeah.
So you're an exhibitionist now?
I pursue everything I could. I never pursue one the big group from them days.
You should have had one up there.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah. But we took it for granted because they were so common, right? I mean, my father would tell us about, lobsters off Bosun Bay.
Yeah.
He said it was so big that even from Big Mount Pleasant, they could see the whips.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The tails were big too.
Yeah.
Tall tail.
Now, with that, when we come back from our break, could we ask if you shared that people would give away, the fishermen would give away two or three.
Give away because it was no fridge or deep freeze to keep them in, and they would salt them, but they just catch them. It was a sport. They caught them, and everybody
going to waste.
Everybody in East End get their share from the fishermen, and it's like maybe about 10, 12 or more fishing boats come in and
loaded.
But they share them. They were, I don't know, their food source, a primary food source. Then they're preserving it with the salt.
Because there were so many of them that they're going to, you couldn't eat all of the fresh ones.
Yes.
It's going to waste.
But they use them and they brought people together. And then there were some other properties that we hear through the ages. But then also the practice today, is it as common? Even the preservation and the like. So we'll get into some of that and the importance of it and what it means, and come back to the notion that people in the area were referred to as such. But lovingly, as it were.
Yeah.
Just
All
like the Conch Bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
They lovingly with the Conch Bubbles.
Yeah, he
I know I am.
Yeah, he's onto that. All right, Alvin McLaughlin is truly a treasure to the country, and we're honored to have him again.
Sweet mouth.
949-8037 or 949-6990. Ray Banker, you may not believe it, but he's actually super intelligent, Might be that handsome to most eyes, but really, really smart. So we're glad that we can at least get him a couple of times. When we come back, more see what I say.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
I support building the piers because the cruise industry puts millions of dollars into our economy each year. Without that revenue, young people like me risk facing an uncertain future. Learn more and spread the word.
Looking forward, looking bright. Support our port, support our tourism.
Stay up to date with the latest in healthy living and fitness trends every Saturday morning at 9:30 and Wednesday at 7 p.m. For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Most clinics in the United States, they kind of like one surgery fits all. You're saying, that's not necessary. That's not going to be the case with me. And that's good to hear.
For the Health of It is proudly brought to you by GNC. Join the GNC community and take advantage of their discount days. The first 7 business days of every month and every Wednesday. GNC. Believe in the power of nutrition.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
Meet the world with Puritan professional launderers and dry cleaners. Call 949-7104 for opening hours at Puritan's Countryside Savannah, Elgin Avenue besides Off the Peg, and 337 Eastern Avenue. Drive through, rain or shine. Ask about Puritan's ongoing discounts plus free pickup and delivery. Call 949-7104. Puritan's 949-7104.
How would you describe Wha Ah Sayin?
A language, history, and culture show on Radio Cayman 89.9 and 93.9 FM.
Okay, I like that definition. Now let's get back to the show.
Wha Ah Sayin.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thanks so much for joining us. It is our monthly Wha Ah Sayin. Ray Banker, in his normal day job over at the museum as curator and museum extra.
Collection.
No, I promote
exhibitions coordinator.
Well, you glad you interrupted me because I'm going to promote you curator, new director, soon to be chief officer. I just elevating you. All right.
That's you.
Is that your? Is that me? Okay. Don't worry, Mr. Alvin.
You tell him you don't have no group for today. Call him back later.
And that ringing bell is Mr. Alvin McLaughlin. I thought it was Ray's stomach, lunchtime, but. As we're talking, what are we talking about, Ray, this month?
$10 a pound.
We're talking about the Coxswain Grouper. We're talking about the fish, the Coxswain Grouper. We're talking about the cooking the dried fish, Coxswain Grouper, and the nickname Coxswain Grouper. So we were just talking about the origins of Coxswain. We just tried to figure out how to spell the thing.
We don't eat it, but we
that's what I thought would happen. We don't spell it, we eat it. The story that I heard, the origins of Coxswain, but I need to ask, we're supposed to get a call, take a call of one of our experts, group of experts, but to see whether it's only Cayman that we call Coxswain. But apparently the story is that James Welcome, or would name Jim Coxswain Jim,
Yes, old man Coxon find the hole. Yeah, that's what.
Found
That's
it.
what I hear from time I was a little youth.
And this probably is probably the earliest is the early 1900s, but might be late 1800s also.
Yeah.
And he was a navigator on a boat, and he found a hole. And there's a whole bunch of story with him. Maybe I have to do a whole thing with him for Welcome and stuff. The last name Welcomes from East End. That he was a navigator and he died off of Canary Island. There's a whole, there's something there we got to find out about.
Yeah.
But apparently he was the one found this one group of hole, and you could tell us where that is that one Cox.
That group of hole is off
Without being specific.
Off of Colliers. Yeah, they call the place they call an Acre Point, but
what's it called? AK Point?
An Acre Point.
At AK.
Point.
Never heard that one. No, I don't show up on the map too much.
It's just a little, just before you get to where the Moritz Tortuga.
Yeah.
Yes, and how them old people used to find it. They had a big coconut tree, a tall coconut tree, bend down, and when they go there, they get a sudden area that they could put their stern line up direct with that. They could drop the anchor.
They didn't mark it by in the clouds or anything?
Sometime
marked by clouds. That was when I heard the story. That was the East End story. Got fish pot marked by cloud.
Yeah.
Well,
that was an interesting day.
Listen, Mr. Alvin can't protect you all the time. You know?
I heard that from an East End.
Yeah.
All right, well,
what you heard? Tell me.
That somebody, they went out and this guy going round and round and round and he went, this thing, where the heck? Somebody stole
my fish pot.
Yeah. He said, where it was? He said, see that? I had it marked by cloud.
Yeah.
Right. Susan says we have a couple of callers online. You want to take the callers? No?
Sure, let's do that then.
All right, let's take caller number 1 to 42. Good afternoon, welcome. Thanks for calling. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sterling and Wray.
Afternoon, sir. How are you today?
That's fine. Wonderful to hear you on it, Ray, on there again. As always, this is an excellent program. And is it Mr. McLean from East End there with you?
Correct that, please.
Yes.
Sorry, I think Mr. Alvin just has a slight adjustment to that. Mr. Alvin?
Alvin McLaughlin, sir.
Alvin.
Yeah, see, we thought it was Ebanks too. You see, I just want to make sure.
The famous chef and everything here.
Yes, sir.
You know, Ray, you're talking about the spelling, and you're right here, but the Coxon, was the same thing, C-O-X, was it S-W-I-N?
Mm-hmm.
And he was the helmsman, or the man who steered on a vessel. As far as
the steering on the boat, yeah.
So maybe that's why that old gentleman, Mr. Welcome, was called Coxon.
But I was saying in the interview they were saying that he navigated. He was a navigator.
Yes,
but it's the same. You got no way going when you're driving the boat.
At the helm.
The vessel would never relegate it to someone else in the old days.
Never run around here.
And then also with Boston, that they would just put it BOS''N. And that can be done also because it's the man supposed to be the best deck seaman on the vessel, showing the others how to splice rope and, testing your skills as a seaman and so forth, and teaching them. And my father in the 1940s, remember, 48, one trip in 1948, Mr. Reynolds E-Banks, I think it was, from the back, told me about that one, but I knew my father used to go over there in the 40s. And from Kingston, Jamaica, where he was doing the turtling and building boats, and all that. And he would sail over there to Cayman Brack to get grouper. That was like a grouper ground. I remember my father often talking about that too. And many times he would just take back fellow Cayman Brack with him. They'd go back over there to work with him. And some never returned for years. The Brack, but that was the grouper grounds. I don't know whether it was a Coxon grouper or any all other type of groupers. I never remember to ask my father, and he's long gone home to glory now.
I think it's all the same. Well, it's the Nassau grouper.
And the Nassau could have been that too. But they just said grouper, and that was it. And but
Oscar?
I have to make a correction there. How in the hell can we say NASA grouper in the Cayman Island? Cayman grouper, let us hear that.
Eastern group or West.
There you go. Serious thing.
Yeah. I just wonder, you're talking about the lobster whip, dear Mr. Bray.
Yes, sir. That was Dwayne.
Or Dwayne.
Yes, sir. That was Dwayne. I can give you his number.
Yes, sir. Well, you're saying that the whip was so big that you could see way out there to see?
Yes, sir.
Well, remember now, Councillor Austin Harris, he's the whip. This guy's a big man.
Look at where we're going. I'm with you, sir.
I thought about that, just to make a little bit of fun.
Thank you. We get banned,
Hold a referendum then on whether they get group up for lunch or group up or Count Bobbies for lunch. Since you're in the referendum, who would have thought about that? Have a wonderful
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
I think. Thanks, I think. Okay, thanks. Gents, respectfully, Susan has a break for us. Save us from ourselves. When we come back, let's continue the calls. Stay tuned.
How would you describe
The 18th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Sunday, June 30th at the Hockwell Theatre, is brought to you by the New Self-Help Community Foundation. This event is proudly sponsored by Logic, Walkers, NCB Group, Thompson Shipping, Frank Hall Homes, Fashion Mart, Caymanian Times, Dr. Steve Tomlinson, A.L. Thompson's, Rich and Connolly, CUC, Cayman Islands National Credit Bureau, Burger King, Automotive Art, Brown's Esso, Fire Extinguisher Pros, and Radio Cayman. Prepaid tickets for the 2019 Talent Exposition of the Arts at the Hockwell Theatre are available at Funky Tanks and Winner Circle Sports for $10 or $15 at the gate.
Did you know that once properly sanitized, some tinned food items may still be safe for consumption after coming in contact with floodwater? In order to properly sanitize these tins, always remove labels, and then wash tins in a strong detergent solution using a brush to get rid of excess impurities. Tins must then be immersed in a solution made of 2 tablespoons of chlorine bleach per gallon of water for 10 minutes. Ensure that containers are air dried before opening. For more post-hurricane food safety tips, visit the DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
When you need stability, think Business of the Year.
Considering a new career opportunity, think Best Place to Work.
When dependability matters, think Outstanding Workforce.
In need of a reliable financial partner, think Bank of the Year.
When you seek excellence, think Cayman National.
No matter how many accomplishments we achieve, we always set the bar higher. That's why we are the most awarded bank in Cayman, and we are proud to be your
2018 Bank of the Year.
When you need stability, think Business of the Year.
Dessert lovers, Exquisite Edibles presents an exciting series of cookie making and cake decorating workshops with award-winning cake designer Daniel Catan at Savannah Primary School, Tuesday, July 9th to Sunday, July 14th. Sugar roses, buttercream, fondant, 3D cakes, cookies, and a wedding cake masterclass. Beginners and advanced learners are all welcome. Price ranges $150 to $200. For more details and to register, call or WhatsApp 917-5538. or email exquisite.edibles@yahoo.com. Exquisite Edibles brings Daniel Catan to Cayman, July 9th to 14th. Hurry, space is limited.
Hear this?
Radio Cayman invites our listeners to join us on Sunday, June 23rd for a live broadcast from the New Testament Church in Cayman Brac. Radio Cayman will bring the local morning worship service to you live starting at 11 a.m. on 89.9 FM and 93.9 on the Brac and Little Cayman. Radio Cayman, celebrating 42 years of service to the people of the Cayman Islands.
How would you describe Wha Ah Sayin?
A language, history, and culture show on Radio Cayman 89.9 and 93.9 FM.
Okay, I like that definition. Now let's get back to the show.
Wha Ah Sayin?
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. And you guys got to allow us to say a special apology to Miss Susan because we give her an extra hard time here, especially on days like today. but we appreciate her, at least today.
Oh.
So thanks very much. And to Mr. Alvin McLaughlin for sitting in with us.
Putting up with us again.
Yeah. Ray Banker, all seriousness, man, you do an incredible job. As we'll have this monthly production of, what is it? Cox and Grouper?
Cox and Grouper. Tell us how you pronounce it correctly.
Cox and Grouper.
But he likes it.
If you wax with somebody, how it sound like? I don't know.
All right, so a couple of the callers, and then we also going to have the scientific expertise, of one of our good folks from the Department of Environment. We'll tell you about that in a minute. But do we go to the phones now, Ray? You want to do that? Join the callers?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for sharing with us.
Austin calling us about that last comment or something like that.
Well, if it's the government, we just put them as okay. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
Good afternoon.
Fine. I would like, Alvin.
Yes, sir.
I would like to tell you who it was that had steal those groupers.
Yeah, but not on the air. Do afraid I get beat.
Yeah, I know, but I can tell it to you. Tom Barra was the one that done that.
Thank you.
He came home from Panama them days, and them was big suits, and he come back, he ain't had any pocket. 6 penny nail jingling, like he had bring home money.
Jesus Christ.
And he went out there that night and steal Bonell, Cox, and off in range where he had hang out.
Yeah.
He didn't have no sack, so he took his jacket and bring him down in. That was
yeah, well, them that didn't know before know now who it was. Yes, sir. Same guy.
Talk about it.
Yeah. We don't have security in Parkland.
People get out on the beach and they say, we're going to see who can tell the biggest lie.
Yes, sir.
K. Jackson, grandfather, he had a walk up on the beach and he look up the road and he say, come here, boys. I'll show you something happened up there, Frank Sound. And they went out there and they show them these 3 bars out at bass schooners up there. They did a lobster, whips lobster come out there.
Yeah.
He said, tell me that's the biggest highlight. So, want to tell me on this now.
Yeah.
Nobody could answer to that one.
Yes, sir.
You had to come up with something.
The 3 master schooner had got through on the reef. And that was a lobster, and even they look, that was a lobster that was up on the reef.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
But I think that's what you're saying is right.
Yeah.
I know all about it. I was a young kid. And I was still on the truck.
Yes, sir.
The truck it was in wood then truck.
Okay.
Shoot a bigger truck. Elliot was the driver.
Yes, sir. Loaded with Bodentangers. Under the influence of people.
Yes, sir. It was being nice.
Yeah.
So you got any good stories about Alvin?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tell it as it is.
He getting worried. He looking kind of worried now. You can go on YouTube and see him.
That's about a couple of weeks ago we were talking about that. I don't know what to talk about. I certainly don't know the night of time. I remember he sent his steel bone. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about it.
Yeah.
So they end up beating him. They're beating him up.
Yeah.
Or they just look for an excuse to fight.
Well,
yes,
I
sir.
was fighting wood then too. I would not fight for her.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for that.
Thank you. And one more call, Ms. Susan. Hey, welcome. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon to you, man.
Okay, want to say enough?
We're talking about Cox and Grouper.
Cox and Grouper.
And we got one in the studio.
All right.
And he bent all the hooks.
Yeah. Special good afternoon to Mr. Alvin McLaughlin.
Same to you, sir.
You know who this is now?
Yeah, I know who it is.
Okay, this is the same security guard that you
My
right
past,
up to UC.
My past security guard, yeah, that's the UC, Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that night you frightened me when me and Algan Nixon were walking, I almost hit you in your head with that flashlight?
Yeah. Yeah, but tell the truth, you always look like you're frightened, though. Yeah, they were good days, man.
Yeah, man. I miss Algan now, too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss him, man. I'm a friend, man.
Yeah, long time I see you.
Yeah,
I hear you a lot.
He passed away, man.
Yeah. Ah?
Algon passed away, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Algon. Yeah. Okay.
Algon Nixon.
Algon Nixon, yeah. Yeah, he gone to glory.
Yeah, man, he okay now, man.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, I'll call you, ask you, how they used to make chewing gum?
How do you make chewing gum?
Yeah.
Chop jasmine tree and make it green. That's all I know. A fig tree.
Fig tree?
Yeah, chop the fig tree and make it green for a couple of minutes and then you chew that.
Not a manchineel tree.
Not manchineel. Or
I heard something about a bush tree.
Well, no, I never see the bush tree, but the fig tree and the jasmine tree, there's a white, look like that, white.
Milky looking thing.
I had Nizaberry.
Spearmint.
Nizaberry tree too. Because apparently that's where it's spoken from. Chicus,
Chicolet.
Sapodilla.
Yeah.
Something chicus or something. I'm sure I got
So,
it.
you want some Cayman style chewing gum or what?
No, I don't think I could handle that. Anyway, Mr. Ray, I know you know a lot about history, so how you would spell chewing gum?
How I would spell it, I don't know. I would just chew it. I wouldn't spell it.
No, how you would spell, how we say it in Cayman?
Chewing?
Chewing gum.
Chewing gum. Chewing gum. Chewing gum.
Chewing.
That's true. Chewing gum, that's Santa Claus gear.
Yeah, chewing gum, that sounds like Chinese.
Yeah, that's not bad, yeah. Chewing gum.
Next Chinaman, you see, ask him how you spell it.
Chewing gum.
All right, guys, later.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
Thanks very much, man. But this is where, looking at this story and Miss Alvin, the notion that something as just one word, just one aspect of our people, the idea of the Coxswain Grouper and how it's, for most of us, I think we associated with East End, Bordentown, but that part and the practice of it. And then we see the attempt to preserve it, 30, 50, 100 years later, even in some instances.
Yes, you'd have people come from all over the island and get the group and go with it. And they used to keep it because for bad weather, when the days get bad, that you couldn't get fishing. Because trust me, some people had cook grouper every day from Monday till Friday. I tell you this, and also
the dry
Saturday.
One, the dry one.
The dry one and the fresh one, they just keep, if the weather is bad, they cook the salt fish every day. And one thing, I can say it, I grew up, we were very poor. When you say money-wise, but when it come on food that the land produced, my old man had everything. And he had customers that every Friday they used to buy. And one day of the week, no fish don't cook in our house. On Sunday, my mother asked her the reason, why you don't cook fish today? Say, to her it has a different smell on Sunday, so I don't know.
You see that? So what you used to get on Sunday then?
Huh?
What you used to get on Sunday?
Well, you got your count your lobster, your turtle, your rabbit, or whatever.
Everything was seafood.
Everything was
and
seafood.
Maybe once a year, Christmas beef.
Christmas beef, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now they're telling us that's the healthy way of living now.
And after Santa Claus, the grouper came. The end of December. And
so Christmas, is that changed now? As I say, I got talked with Bradley.
If it changed,
yeah, the seasons kind of changed.
I don't know if they can catch them anymore because the restriction they have on them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But has it? I mean, you find it has changed. The spawning season has changed. Have they changed a little bit? The fish itself.
Yeah, because I think so. Yeah, it's. Some of them, it later than it used to be before with the spawning.
Modified a little bit. But we got to see if we can try to get...
I can tell you, during the season, now I ain't going near Coxswain Bank, but if I go on the iron shore or anyway along the reef and I catch a grouper, boy, they going to have hell take him from me. Oh, sir. I never catch him in the Coxswain hole. Right?
But that's what I was saying too. It's not they have the holes. What other places? How many places you identified? I think two places.
One other place here right off Universal Church in East End. They call on Coffer Hole, Cuff Butt McLaughlin. Yeah, they go out and get them, but it wasn't a big quantity like
Yeah.
they get at other players. Yeah.
And then quantity-wise, what you think? How much? Thousands?
Maybe some of them boat go, they get 6, 8, 10, 12 because like they didn't used to bite too well.
Oh, in that particular hole?
Yeah, I seen that hole, yeah.
But when they were flourishing, like what kind of catch, how much it would come back?
From that hole?
No, from any.
From anyone? 1,000 a day, 800. No, serious. They used to.
And that's in the heyday.
Yeah, one boat, and that's sometimes every day of the week. One boat has all 100, I remember. A cousin of mine, say when he put in the 100 and he pull up in anchor, and when he was going, the one that make 100 jump overboard, so he came back with 99. And that's, they used to catch them just.
That makes sport, their game. There's so much. Yeah, and it's a spawning season, so it's like, it's deadly.
Yes,
so they be loaded with eggs and
everything. Yeah. And you could get them. You could
once a year they do
You could get the eggs free. We call it a roe. You could get that was free. The same thing. You could get as many roe as you want. You could get as much liver as you want. But no, the only thing they don't sell is the scale. Well, I shouldn't say that because they sell them with the scale on there. Yeah. So,
right. Just got a news break, but when we come back, and then we also
see if I can get our call in.
Yeah, Mr. Bradley Johnson will give us the scientific aspect of it. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
A 32-year-old Georgetown man is charged with burglary and 6 other offenses in connection with some recovered jewelry Wednesday. Police say they also found 25 ganja plants in the man's home. He has been formally charged with burglary, theft, handling stolen goods, damage to property, cultivating ganja, and possession with intent to supply, as well as refusing to provide a urine sample. He was due to appear in court today. In international news, a fire and explosions at the largest oil refinery on the U.S. East Coast sent a massive fireball into the sky, shaking nearby homes before dawn this morning, although authorities reported only a few minor injuries. The blaze broke out at the Philadelphia Energy Solutions refining complex around 4 a.m. News and amateur videos showed the enormous fireball bursting into the sky about 20 minutes later. U.S. President Donald Trump today said the U.S. was, quote, cocked and loaded to retaliate against Iran for downing an unmanned American surveillance drone. But he canceled the strikes 10 minutes before they were due to be launched after being told 150 people could die. Airlines rerouted flights today to avoid airspace near the Strait of Hormuz after Iran shot down that military drone. American aviation officials warned that commercial jetliners could be mistakenly attacked amid tensions between Tehran and Washington. Those are your headlines. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Kick off Constitution Weekend with an exciting international all-star football match that you won't want to miss. Saturday, June 29th at Truman Bodden Sports Complex. Football legends Gianfranco Zola of Italy, Shaka Hislop of Trinidad and Tobago, Ricardo Gardner and Darren Moore of Jamaica, Sean Davis of England, and Pascal Chimbanda of France will join with Jamaica Reggae Boys legends Walter Boyd, Onandi Lowe, and Cayman Islands national team greats Lee Ramone, Gilly Seymour, Antonio Smith, Richard Hugh, and many more. Gates open at 3 p.m. with free admission to the public, and all patrons must be seated no later than 5:30 p.m. when the gates will close. Large bags and glass bottles will not be permitted. This all-star charity football match will feature entertainment at halftime and a donation collection in support of the Hope for Today Foundation. Saturday, June 29th at Truman Bodden Sports Complex. Don't miss as football legends from the UK, the Caribbean, and the Cayman Islands come together to play in this historic match as we celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Cayman Islands Constitution. Admission is free. For more information, visit celebratecayman.ky.
The hurricane season is here. Are you ready? If not, now is the time to prepare. Follow Water Authority on social media for useful hurricane preparedness tips and important customer service announcement throughout the 2019 hurricane season. You can also download free hurricane preparedness brochures from the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky. Be aware, be safe, be prepared.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
There are plenty of reasons to be a Logic customer. There's lightning-fast internet connectivity. There's the great overall customer experience. And now, you can improve your Wi-Fi connectivity with Logic Boost Wi-Fi for free. With Boost, you can extend your freedom to stream, game, and download seamlessly anywhere in your home, like your patio or your underground lair if you have one. Sign up now for any Logic Bundle package and get free Boost Wi-Fi for a limited time. Visit logic.ky for details.
How would you describe Wha Ah Sayin?
A language, history, and culture show on Radio Cayman 89.9 and 93.9 FM.
Okay, I like that definition. Now let's get back to the show.
Wha Ah Sayin?
Thank you so much for joining us. And in the studio with Ray Banker, we have the good company of Mr. Alvin McLaughlin. Ray, where are we going next? To the phones?
Yeah, I need to go to the phone. Yeah, we Susan? Miss Susan, we got a guest ready? Yeah. We want to talk with... Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. We have you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Are you ready for us today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All
Okay.
right.
Can you identify yourself, sir? And then what's your position in your organization?
My name is Bradley Johnson. I'm a research officer with the Department of Environment.
And is this the same one that they call Bradley Gazung and the Happy Boys?
No, that's a different one.
Because I know somebody that called that for the last about 20-something years, that now everybody knows it, that you probably get it from other sources now. But anyway.
You don't want to call me that, so I guess.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. Through the magic of radio, you can have more people now calling you Bradley Gazung and the Happy Boys.
There you go. Thanks.
But thank you, sir, for joining us.
No problem. I'm glad to be here.
We know of your expertise in the grouper department, in the Coxswain grouper department. So I wonder if you can enlighten us with some of your enlightenment.
I wouldn't say expertise, but I'll help out where I can.
For us, other than Alvin, the consumer of the Coxswain grouper, so I sent you some questions and stuff. So Coxswain grouper, what's the official name, or is it called that in any other places?
No, I think that's the only place it is referred to as Coxswain Group. I think that's just because of the association with it being caught on what they call Coxswain Bank, but it's a Nassau Grouper.
Okay.
Like you have on the poster behind you.
Nassau. Oh, look, he on YouTube and everything. All right, so it's just in our waters, Nassau Grouper. Give us a thing.
It's just called that in our waters, yeah.
Yeah, and probably mostly in East End too, now.
I would assume so. Yeah.
And then Coxswain Bank is where, roughly?
That's off the northeast side of East End, right where Mr. McLaughlin said it was.
Oh.
He hasn't moved there. Still doesn't seem
hasn't moved there.
No, but then, okay, that's the other question. Can you identify some of the other holes, some of the other group of holes or spawning aggregations? Is it just Cayman? Just Grand Cayman?
No, they had them all three islands. Actually, there was the second one off of the southwest side of Grand Cayman that you used to catch from as well. And then it was one off the east coast of the Brac and the east coast of Little Cayman.
Alvin writing down the coordinates right now. and that one southwest, that's off. So that's town. That's from south.
Yeah.
So that was That's a historic thing, and that was depleted or what? That was fished out, you think?
Yeah, I think they stopped fishing there in the early 90s or mid 90s, I believe, is what some of the information we had.
Okay.
Because we used to monitor the catch, because this is before my time, obviously, but department was approached. It was then a natural resource unit. They were approached in, I think, around '86. Concerned for the fishermen because the numbers were getting less and less each year, and the fish were getting smaller and smaller. So at that point, the department actually stepped in and began going to the landing sites and actually measuring the fish and recording the number of fish caught, the number of people that were fishing for them, and keeping data like that to sort of figure out what the trend would be over time. And they used to catch it in South. They used to get the landing site in Georgetown. They would go to. I know they were in East End as well, and they were in the Brack recording all the data from all the fish that were caught there. So from '86 to roughly about around 2000, we have catch data for.
And at each of these holes, did you see Alvin at them?
No, that was before my time.
Okay,
you cannot confirm or
verify. You can't confirm or deny. No, okay. Just a little description of the grouper, like what the size, weights.
The Nassau can get up to about 4 foot in length.
Oh.
Yeah.
So taller than
and then
taller than Dwayne. Yeah.
And then what we didn't say is that's not the only grouper on our waters, huh?
No, we have quite a lot of groupers. The Goliath grouper, the Warsaw, the yellowfin. Right. The Goliath is what they call the Jewfish, the yellowfin, the black grouper, tiger grouper. It's probably about 10 different species of grouper in the Atlantic and Caribbean, but those are the most common ones here.
You're making it sound like we got plenty of groupers. Yes. People going out in the boat. Now Alvin eyes light up.
Yeah, well, you have plenty of species. We got a lot of fish in the sea, you know. You got a lot of different species of fish in the sea as well.
Used to be. Yeah. And we never did say what's the status of the Coxsone grouper or the Nassau grouper?
The Nassau grouper is critically endangered globally.
Wow.
And that was upgraded from just endangered. Not that that's any better, but that was upgraded in November 2008.
So suppose
2018, November, just last year. They upgraded it. Yeah, it went from endangered to critically endangered. That's based on the population of them in the region, not just in Cayman, right?
Yeah. It's worse. Getting worse. Yeah.
So it's not just a problem in. It's not just fished in Cayman.
Yeah, that's global. Cayman, like you said, yeah. I saw that Belize one that you sent me. That was incredible and depressing at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, because we used to catch them on all the holes and then bring them back to processing plants.
Yeah, 100 tons or something.
Yeah.
So they have hundreds of thousands. They used to have.
Yeah.
Wow. So they can done then.
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of those things where it's a lot of times you don't see the evidence of your catch getting less until the population is much less than it is. Mm-hmm. I know some of the stats. There's a fishery report from Cuba that shows their historical trends. They used to catch like 1,400 metric tons a year in '62, and it went down to almost nothing by '98. So they fished all of their sites down.
Wow. Yeah, and I saw the map where Jamaica had one, and that's all fished out. Haiti. And it just seems like the economic aspect of it is a big factor too, huh?
Yeah, because I mean the site they're fairly easy to find in the sense when there are a lot of fish there, and it's easy to get a lot of fish.
Yeah, and that's like a human nature thing. You just get them, and you got to get them while you get them.
Right. Yeah.
Suppose now I go. The season is closed. Suppose I go out fishing nowhere near the bank, nowhere near the Coxsone hole, and I catch a grouper. Is it against the law?
Right now or during the season?
During the season or any time.
Well, as long as you're outside of the season, you can still catch groupers. Right? So the closed season is the 1st of December through the 30th of April.
Okay.
So once you're outside that, there's a catch limit of 5 per boat or 5 per person.
Okay, I learned something today.
And there's also a size limit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you can only catch Nassau grouper between 16 inches and 24 inches.
Okay. What about those foreign fishing boats that comes in with hundreds of them here? It's the fishermen, our fishermen, they're crying about it because this is unfair to them. What do you think about that, sir? Shouldn't they be banned from bringing them in the country if we can't catch them?
Well, that's something you should take up with your district representative, your MLA, because in the law, it only refers to Nassau grouper caught in Cayman waters.
Okay.
Bradley, I didn't know you were a politician.
Okay.
I didn't know you were a politician.
He's a diplomat.
Okay.
Oh, diplomat?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, I would never say nothing to my politician about it in East End because I think he's on the fisherman side too. He agree with them that they should they should be banned or whatever. But I don't know if they're the NASA group or they bring in or what. But I don't know how they, because it no name tag on them saying I'm from NASA, I'm a NASA group or whatever.
No, and it depends on the time of year as well, because the different if it's caught around January, February, like you were saying, that's when the Nassau aggregates to spawn. But then the different ones have different months as well. So and when you see, that's the one indication. When you see boats coming in with a lot of the same fish, and especially when they have roe or the eggs, then you know that those were caught from a spawning aggregation.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the things you look for when you're buying fish. If they have roe and stuff like that, then
Okay, so it's endangered. We talked a little bit about why the holes. What's so particular about these holes? What's the factors that make these fish go in these certain holes, these certain spots, aggregate spots? What's the conditions needed?
From what we can see, it's something to do with the physical or the oceanographic conditions and the physical shape of the sites, right? Because if you look at the ones from the other islands, they're all on points or promontories that stick out in the currents, and that's where the fish sort of go to spawn. Possibly something to do with the fish, releasing their eggs someplace that'll protect it, offer it the most protection, either by taking it out to sea, away from the reef where there's more things that can eat it. Because a lot of when they release the eggs, it gets in the currents. And then those larvae that hatch from the eggs are taken anywhere from 30 to 40 days while they increase in size. And then after that 30 to 40 day window, then they'll start to look for reefs to settle out on. And then that's when you start to get your baby groupers settling on the reef.
And I hear Alvin is trying to develop a hook so he can catch them larvae. That's what he's got apparently. The other thing was we never really mentioned is the fact of the moon. With the moon plays in it, they go by the moon too.
Yeah, it's always around what we found is all around the full moon. In December, January or February.
And that again is what, to the tides and the flow and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with the timing of the moons after the winter solstice in December. So you get a major month and a minor month, and it's usually depending on when the moon occurs in January. That'll dictate whether January is a major month or February is a major month.
Now, with that in mind, and in relation to the seasons and the spawning, Mr. Alvin earlier was saying, well, maybe in the early days when they spawn relative to these times, there may have been a change. Is that just anecdotal, or is there any evidence that maybe it's changed? Hearing what you said about January and February, the winter solstice, but
yeah, but I mean, you could the groupers were still around, and I'm not sure whether they were more easier to catch in December. From what we heard, that there was groupers caught in December, but I didn't know whether necessarily Mr. McLaughlin's was it around the full moon in December?
Yeah, around the full moon. Yeah,
So it could well have been it could well have been a change in the season in the seasons. I mean, things do change over time.
Yeah.
So
that could be like temperature, water temperatures, or maybe even they're different. They're kind of different fish. Like they don't have that tradition of going to that other hole. Those ones are fished out, maybe. Because I saw that the older fish would sort of train the younger ones to go to this the certain spots.
Yeah.
But
we believe that there was two separate sites, right? So there's one off of I think the two sites existed at the same time, probably because of the size of the island. It could support two different sites. So what we know from the tagging work that we did is that all the fish, like from the Bracken, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman, all the fish that show up at the spawning sites are only from those islands. So you don't get groupers swimming out over open water to go from one island to the other island.
Yeah.
So all the fish are from that one place, right? So go ahead.
That was a misconception that these fish come from everywhere. Yeah, they come to Cayman, but these are local fish.
Right, and I guess from their perspective, if you look down and see thousands and thousands and thousands of fish, it's sort of hard to imagine that those could all be just around the island.
They would, yeah.
But in fact, that's what we were finding, that when they show up at those sites, it's just from those things. Like Belize has over 13 different sites that they knew of, but all of those, and a lot of those have been fished down as well, but those are all along like a continuous shelf. They're not surrounded by oceanic water like we are. Yeah. We're little, seamounts in the middle of nowhere, so all of our fish are just around our island.
Senna, you got an idea, because they're not there all the time, where they go? Nobody has ever known where they go after they leave there.
Well, they go back to what we found is they go back to their sites on their homes on the reef.
On the reef,
they're territorial, right? So they'll
know where it is.
but they're solitary, right? So when you go to look for them, you want to go find one or two corvette, because they're solitary throughout the year. It's when they comes to spawning time that they all aggregate, which is why it's so much easier to catch lots of them at the spawning time, is because they're all aggregating.
You know, there has a lot of other fishes you can catch there after the groupers. You catch the snappers, you catch turpids, and even I don't know, the rockfish would be in what would be included grouper tuna.
That's what they call the yellowfin grouper, right?
Yeah, Yeah, so it's a time for them. A lot of them be there, and then some my sharks. Sometimes you fish in there and you only get half of one fish or so like that. A shark cut it off.
Yeah, that's why I didn't hear about whether there's predatory, not just the humans. There's other
fishes there. People go there and catch other fish.
Oh yeah. We've seen sharks when we're doing the monitoring. We've seen groupers that have big chunks out of them as well.
Yeah.
Those are some tough fish.
And what are the types of sharks? These are like reef sharks?
Yeah, Caribbean reef sharks. I imagine, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, let me see what else. What else? Anything else that we not covered that you think we missed? Cruising seasons.
Some of the misconceptions, in particular, that people may have, was something that Ray and I were looking at trying to understand.
Like that was a big one. The fact that these are our fish, not just coming from anywhere.
Yeah, those are only from, like I said, because the Grand Cayman is so much bigger than the Bracken Little Cayman. It's quite possible that they had some fish that went to the southwest side and then some fish that went to the east end side, so that they were both happening at the same time. They were all fish from Grand Cayman, but because of the size of the island, they just went to two different spots.
And did we say there was any historic evidence about a hole being in West Bay? Not just because we're from West Bay, but I never heard anything.
But that too.
I know that there was on 12 Mile Bank. They used to catch them there as well.
Right.
So maybe that was the closest one there.
And one of the reasons why we're asking that, we tried to informally ask our friends who are from the different districts, and it seems that, generally speaking, not a lot of West Bayers were into the groupers, not to the extent that the other districts were.
That's why we were conch bubbies, or maybe they would call us barra heads or something, rather than coxswain.
Yeah.
But that just shows you how, despite how small Grand Cayman is, not even the three islands, but just Grand Cayman, how distinct we are with our foods, with where we fished, what we ate. You think groupers are plentiful in East End, the whole island would be eating it, but it wasn't. Seemingly, it wasn't the case. Bradley, if we could also ask you about that idea, I just want for you to repeat first the read on the same page. I want to ask about the poisonous, if they're poisonous or not. But before that, the season. What is the law now? Before you leave, make sure we
so Alvin knows.
That. Yeah. So
yeah.
So the close season for Nassau Grouper runs the 1st of December through 30th of April.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You can't take them at all anytime during the close season.
No, you can't. You can't take them, purchase them, possess them, receive them, or at all.
From anywhere.
Take pictures of them.
Yeah. Right.
So just for clarity, sort of repeat, as Mr. Alvin said, let's say he's fishing off the shore somewhere. Not just Mr. Alvin, somebody's fishing off the shore somewhere, and they were to catch a grouper now. Highly unlikely, but they caught a grouper during the close season.
During the close season, they need to release it.
Yeah. So anywhere, caught anywhere, 1st of December to the end of April.
Okay.
Right?
End of April, yeah.
If you get it anywhere in Cayman waters, you have to release it.
You hear that, Mr. Alvin?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Sorry.
Because in theory, the whole reason is that during that time is when the fish are preparing to spawn.
Right.
And even if they are not physically spawning at the time, they're still in the process of doing it. So you want to protect them during that time and give them a chance to release the eggs, and then,
Yeah. And this is kind of why I think, I understand it. Mr. Alvin's sort of lobbying on behalf of the fishermen that if you can't take it in your waters, why should you have it? Because we know that supermarkets have come on board to some extent and saying we're not going to sell it during the close season. The restaurants, at some point, sometimes.
Pay $12-14 a pound for it.
Poisonous. We know that some fish had or have a reputation at being poisonous.
You have experience in that?
I'm the
poisonous.
No, I never. But one question, sir. It's a certain time the grouper has a warming of it. What stage of is that? The stage of when they're pregnant or what?
I believe that might be after they spawn.
Okay, you find a little black worm sometime in the flesh.
Quite possibly, yeah.
I tell you what, I can give you dreams to remember. I have a lot of pictures with cocks and grouper salt in the early days. I can send you a picture one day.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I used to do it. I used to buy them, and that time you had to buy them and get Mr. Gerlo to salt them for Pirates Week, and we hang them on by the little kitchen. So we have lots of pictures with them. When you look at that picture, that fish looks so real, like you could bite the picture.
But Mr. McLaughlin, you guys used to, when you used to fish for them, you used to not fish for them after they spawn?
They used to go before.
Only before, you never used to catch them once
before they used to catch them with spawn, but they when they spawn, they know when they spawn and they lay, they keep hauling off. They go, they keep getting less, in, and that's it. And then you hear them say they're gone, so that's it.
But he was asking also about the taste of them too.
Is a
different taste after they spawn? Because I know
I would think so. Yeah, it tastes. Yeah, it had a different taste.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that. Mm-hmm.
Is that rocky or no?
Oh, like it. Yes. A rough smell. No, that's serious. It smelled like a.
No, talking to Bradley, he brought it up.
Bradley might know that. It smelled like a, like a. I don't know call it fish. Bad smell.
What about rocky?
Yeah, rocky. Yeah.
And so sorry, go Ms. Allen. Go ahead.
But otherwise, they would eat themselves, salt them, and as I say, used to do everything. I hear that in East Time we used to save everything. Some of them old people you comb their hair with a backbone. I don't know that part was true.
But while we have you here, Bradley, tell us about the poison.
Poison.
It's
because grouper will poison you, right?
Well, not just any big reef fish. Mm-hmm. Any big reef fish can could give you fish poisoning, and that's actually what we call ciguatera.
Not terrian, terra.
Ciguatera.
That the one with the long mouth?
No, that's just the name they give to the fish poison.
Oh, I thought that mean a fish. We got one you call piper. I thought that's what you were talking about.
Oh, that's the same thing that you get from eating some of the barracudas is fish poisoning.
And you say it's a parasite?
No. It's basically it's caused by fish eating algae called a specific algae, and then that algae actually builds up in the small fish. So imagine you got your parrotfish on the reef and they're grazing on the algae, and you got all the other types of fish. When they eat that specific toxin called gambadiscus, that builds up inside them. So then you go up the food chain to the fish that eat those grazers, and the more of those little grazers that fish eats, the more of that toxin is in those fish. And then the bigger those fish get, and the more of those fish they eat, then the more toxic the fish becomes. So any large reef predator, apex predator, groupers, snappers, jacks, could potentially have that thing in them.
I had barracuda poison before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on a ship and they caught one in the Bahamian Channel. He was 6 pounds. And they clean him and they put him up. And on Thursdays on the ship, they normally cook pork roast, pork chops and stuff. And I didn't eat pork. My eldest brother was chef cook. He cooked it in a little, what we call rundown again, with all you had was Irish potato and carrots and dumpling. Yeah. And he gave 6 of us, and I 8 minutes to 12, and by 1 o'clock, I thought I was gone dead.
Yeah.
And that wipe out the 6 of us, and he never tasted, he cook it. And his reason why he never tasted, because he don't eat fish that catch on Sunday. They caught him on Sunday. Yeah. My poisoning brother and 5 more people.
He's a lucky one. It's a neurotoxin. It's a neurotoxin as well, so it can actually it can really mess you up.
And I had it real bad, and we were at sea, and we were going to France, and they sent me doctor, and as I get there, the doctor checked me out, and he threw some injection into me, and I could feel a difference. And at the end of my treatment, he said, "Sir, this you will feel it 6 months after you're in your grave, so I hope it don't come back."
But that's what I heard as well, that if once people have been poisoned like that, they're more susceptible to it afterwards.
And I was chief pumpman on the ship. You imagine that? I can see myself crawling down those steps to start. Oh boy, I wouldn't want to witness that again life, and I stopped eating them. And when the guy that was along with me that got poisoned, I see him here in Cayman one day, and he looked like he had never had another hour to live. What happened? Boy, you got poisoned with bar. I say you should have dead, because you should have stopped eating it from then, because you know what you went through. So I never ate it since that day. Ever when I see the same one that poisoned me.
Usually you hear barra, but then once in a while, I think my friend has got grouper.
Yeah, and then
grouper poison,
koala jack as well.
Koala poison.
But a 6 pound barra, that's not a big
6
barra.
pound, but we would catch Bahamian Channel.
What was he eating?
I don't know, boy.
It could be all because I know the toxin, the algae is seasonal as well, and it depends on where. Some areas have more than others, so it could just be that one barra was living in some place that had a lot of it on a regular basis.
Yes.
All right. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Bradley, as usual, man. Thank you. Hopefully, we'll be able to have you in the studio again, just to enlighten us about some of the things, from the marine environment. Always a pleasure. Maybe you can bring your spare gun, and we can do some
demonstrations.
Spare gun demonstrations in the studio.
All right, guys. Thanks very much.
Good.
Okay,
thank you
again,
very much.
Take care.
Let me know when you guys performing.
All right.
All right, cool.
Bradley Johnson from the Department of Environment. And with that, let's pause quickly.
Bradley Gazung and the Happy Boys.
No.
When you see him, just remind him that you were listening to this.
Tell him that Rebecca said that.
See, he's a Cox and Grouper now too then.
Yep. When we come back, more See What I Say.
King Sports Center Art of Fun Summer Camp is back from July 2nd to August 2nd. Now in its 15th year, the Art of Fun Camp is ideal for kids ages 5 through 10 with activities from football, basketball, dodgeball, squash, rock climbing, arts and craft, dance, singing, and more. Your child can practice physical and social skills while having fun in a safe and secure environment. For more info, call 946-KING. Like King's Sports Center on Facebook, and you can also find them on Instagram or call 946-5464. King Sports Center, providing you with all your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs. Register before May 31st and save 10% on camp registration. The 18th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Sunday, June 30th at the Hockwell Theatre, is brought to you by the New Self-Help Community Foundation. This event is proudly sponsored by Logic, Walkers, NCB Group, Thompson Shipping, Frank Hall Homes, Fashion Mart, Caymanian Times, Dr. Steve Tomlinson, A.L. Thompson's, Rich and Connolly, CUC, Cayman Islands National Credit Bureau, Burger King, Automotive Art, Brown's Esso, Fire Extinguisher Pros, and Radio Cayman. Prepaid tickets for the 2019 Talent Exposition of the Arts at the Hockwell Theatre are available at Funky Tanks and Winner Circle Sports for $10 or $15 at the gate.
Did you know that once properly sanitized, some tinned food items may still be safe for consumption after coming in contact with floodwater? In order to properly sanitize these tins, always remove labels and then wash tins in a strong detergent solution using a brush to get rid of excess impurities. Tins must then be immersed in a solution made of 2 tablespoons of chlorine bleach per gallon of water for 10 minutes. Ensure that containers are air dried before opening. For more post-hurricane food safety tips, visit the DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
Dessert lovers, Exquisite Edibles presents an exciting series of cookie making and cake decorating workshops with award-winning cake designer Daniel Catan at Savannah Primary School, Tuesday, July 9th to Sunday, July 14th. Sugar roses, buttercream, fondant, 3D cakes, cookies, and a wedding cake masterclass. Beginners and advanced learners are all welcome. Price ranges $150 to $200. For more details and to register, call or WhatsApp 917-5538 or email exquisite.edibles@yahoo.com. Exquisite Edibles brings Daniel Catan to Cayman, July 9th to 14th. Hurry, space is limited.
Hear this?
Radio Cayman invites our listeners to join us on Sunday, June 23rd for a live broadcast from the New Testament Church in Cayman Brac. Radio Cayman will bring the local morning worship service to you live starting at 11 a.m. on 89.9 FM and 93.9 on the Brac and Little Cayman. Radio Cayman, celebrating 42 years of service to the people of the Cayman Islands.
When you need stability, think Business of the Year.
Considering a new career opportunity, think Best Place to Work.
When dependability matters, think Outstanding Workforce.
In need of a reliable financial partner? Think Bank of the Year.
When you seek excellence, think Cayman National.
No matter how many accomplishments we achieve, we always set the bar higher. That's why we are the most awarded bank in Cayman, and we are proud to be your
2018 Bank of the Year.
How would you describe Wha Ah Sayin?
A language, history, and culture show on Radio Cayman 89.9 and 93.9 FM.
Okay, I like that definition. Now let's get back to the show.
Wha Ah Sayin?
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us, and really grateful for the good company of Mr. Alvin McLaughlin.
Alvin Terry or Barry?
Alvin Eubanks. No, Mr. Alvin. Yeah.
But Coxon Grouper.
You know,
you'll wake up to answer the Coxon Grouper.
Yeah. No. Well, we just had, if you just joined us, that was Mr. Bradley Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not Bradley Gazong.
Bradley Gazong and the Happy Boys is what I know him as. I don't know what else he named, but
so when you see Bradley from the DOE, ask him if Rebecca says it's true if he's Bradley Gazong.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough?
That's fair enough. I'm a fair person.
You're fair.
So we talked about the fish, we talked about, well, the group of holes and the behaviour. We talk about the drying part, the processing of it now. And you kind of talked about it. When the people come in with a catch, a fisherman, was it specific fisherman or any family would...
Anybody that could bait a hook.
Would go look for them.
Uh-huh.
Like I got killing season, that's what I get. Yeah. That's the feeling I get. And when they come in now, Is it one place that they would bring them in East End?
No, each boat come in a day. We call it a day bay amongst press the house or the area where they keep the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the boat shed, and come in and
then they butcher them there, or they clean them
up there. Yeah,
no, not cows, fishy.
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
and
crab.
Some of them had big tables. They would salt them right there.
Mm-hmm.
On the table. And how did you normally salt them? Didn't you salt them like whole? When I say whole, I mean the whole group. I said they would split them down in two, and the scotch each side, and the scotch, both sides.
We had a definition of scotch.
Yes.
What is scotch?
Well,
scotch is it cut, but not all the way through?
Not right. No, not all the way through.
Just to the backbone.
Yeah, only when you get to the backbone, you see scotch that you hit the bone.
Yeah.
Scotch that you hit the bone,
So
and it's a sudden, it's a slight slip you have give it that when you start it open up. Yeah, so
and
you
you
hang it.
And when you split it too, it was from the tail
down and bust the head open, or some people cut the head off, or so. But if you get a salt coxswain grouper head, it make you walk all night. So the people used to salt the head and make their stew in it with it, real nice.
And this was just regular table salt, not rock salt or anything like that.
Regular table salt.
And there's a story where they found during the war when salt was low, they would actually make their own.
Well, right now you can go East End on the Iron Shore, and you can get salt there in those little pockets. And to me, that salt is stronger than the ordinary salt.
Well, they say the sea salt.
Okay.
Yeah. So they also talked about boiling it down to salt water, boiling it down and making salt, I guess.
Well, I don't know how it processed, but... yeah.
And if they got a rock salt, they would take it, put it in their mortar, and mash it down good.
Mash it down.
Now, you said these people... So they know that they wouldn't be able to eat all the fresh grouper.
Yes,
So they know they're processing
and
it.
Some of them never had enough salt to salt it, so they used to, give it around. But
So you didn't really, even though it was in abundance, they didn't really try to waste. It wasn't wasted.
No, it wasn't wasted.
But a couple seasons ago, they were doing that. I thought they caught so many that they rotted. They had to bury it and all that.
Not here on this island. Not here, man.
That was Brack?
I heard about the Brack,
was doing that. But that's ridiculous. I guess that's probably younger one generation that don't know the salting thing. Because to me, that's generations and generations you're doing that. And it's actually that salted dried fish. What we name that? Can you help me with that? That pronunciation they're doing. Is that Baraclara?
I looked it up when you had that.
Salt fish.
Okay, ask Mr.
You see it there? On page 2.
Yeah, Bacalhau.
And then Baracola.
Were they the Portuguese?
That's maybe Portuguese, Spanish, but I think it from Taino, and that may be the origins also of Buccaneers. When we talk about barbecue and all that stuff. Because it's the drying and the of meat.
That rings a bell to me too. On the ship, on the menu, they would give you the salt fish, the same codfish. They used to slice the potato around, and they used to cook that with the fish, and they call it bacalhau con papas. So I don't know if it come... Bacalhau con papas. I don't know if that's...
Con papas.
Yeah.
We had to get an interpreter in there for this one.
Yeah, something like that.
Where's Rogero when I need him?
Yeah. So tell us about, you brought in the fish, you process it, cut it up with the intention of salting it. You're salting it.
Yes.
What happens after that?
You salt it, then you hang it up on, we call it a range. You got a line or sticks, you hang it up on it.
A range,
Yeah, and...
It's basically almost like a clothesline.
Like a clothesline, yes, and you hang it up on it and take as many. Some people, you could probably take about 200, 30, whatever you got, you can hang them up,
Yeah, you find a place to put it.
Yes, and
what kind of conditions? Like how much salt we talking about? A light thing, or it has to be doused in it? Has to be.
It wouldn't. I don't say it was so much salt to do what they just take they got a container and they got a salt, and they take the hand, they sprinkle it in every scotch and they rub it in a bit. But most of them old fishermen, they leave it for at least say half an hour to 1 hour, and they say they leave it, make the salt, taking it, and then you would see the water running from it, you know.
Because that's what's happening. It's the salt is dehydrating it, and you're drying it, and that
then they
spoils
hang
it.
it up, and trust me, well, some of them pick it up the night, but some of them they have watch it close. Shotgun
in the beginning,
the old shotgun with salt, with rock salt in it for them, you know.
Oh my God! Because they steal it.
Yeah, because people go steal it. But a good 2 days hot sun on it.
Yeah,
good. You
2
see, like
days,
how the sun hot now.
Yeah,
you could put that out there one day, and the next day you had to take it up. It dry down, bone dry.
And when you're scotching it, like is there a kind of art to it? Like you don't want it too big, you don't want it too small?
So, and them old people, even me, I can scotch that like 1 inch, inch scotch, you know, and
so they get the flesh gets all dehydrated.
Right, and then you put your salt in it.
And you said 2 days in the sun. Rain,
well, mostly rain come.
Take them up.
You take it up. You take it up before the rain. But if rain come with it has a funny smell. But you put it back on the sun and take the smell away.
And somebody was saying when the process, I think we can hear that more of that in the clip, hopefully. The flies, because of the salt, the flies wouldn't even bother it.
No, the flies, they don't mess around when you put salt on it.
It was sent to some of our resident linguists, Bacalara.
Are they cunning also?
They can be at times during elections here.
Okay.
But we'll see if we get a pronunciation on that first.
Okay, cool.
Right.
But early in the morning, for the East End, the district of East End, you could smell when the coxswain seasons, coxswain and that nice brew coffee. Yeah, what a nice smell the coffee used to have. But that was the smell we had every day to put up with. I can smell that coffee now. Oh my God!
And you found that pleasant, right? I mean,
yeah.
And that's the thing. Is it because you liked both of those? Because some people, when they smell fish or whatever it is, if they don't like it, they find it to be offensive.
Yeah.
And to me, I mean, I love the smell of fish. It doesn't matter how.
Yeah, that come in like I hear some time ago some foreign national were complaining because rooster were crowing. I wish I were near him. I would crow half an hour for him. That's something them people mark that they take that rooster as a time clock. When you hear them first, hear them say we go into Coxswain Bank. We gonna leave home first fall crow.
For what? First crow?
First fall crow.
Yeah. But now they all messed up. Now with all
they're crowing all the time.
Yeah,
now.
because they see the light on the horizon, and that's like
that's
could be,
true. All the time now.
A couple of calls in.
We got to do some maintenance now.
Let's go to the calls. All right. Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for listening and calling. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
Fine. Alvin.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When they cut up them goobers.
Yes,
Go on the bay and get that warm wood.
Yeah, and wash your hand.
And wash your hand in that and wash your pop. Every bit of the scent is gone.
Every bit of the scent is gone. You know we have the warm wood around still.
Yeah, I see it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, it's around, and it has a nice smell too.
If what?
Yeah.
That was number one.
Otherwise, if you ain't got that, how you clean it off your hand?
Yeah, that's right.
How you get it off your hand if you don't have that?
Tell them must go on a beat and get piece of that and rub their hand up.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
And do the action that they know it is 5 different kind of deep water snappers.
See if you know the 5 different kind of deep water snappers.
No, I only know the cook one.
No.
I want to know the cook one. Alvin, you know some of them. I know that.
Yeah, I know you have a couple of them. Yes,
Yeah, you got the black deep waters.
Yeah.
You got a black one, the black red one with the black on the fin.
And you got one little one they call Peter Snapper.
Right. And then you got silk. And
right.
You got satin. They're the one that grow the deepest.
Right,
You see them boats bring in these old deep water squirrels.
Yeah, Which one eat the sweetest?
sending for rate snappers now. Then I go and look and say, you got rate snappers. So yes, let me see it. I said, no, that's all the water squirrel.
Yeah, the water squirrel, yes.
Yeah, they sell some the snappers. These people go buy them. They don't know the difference in the fish. You see.
But right now we got people selling them, you know, them big red hind.
Yeah.
They clean some and sell them for strawberry snapper.
Yeah, you're right.
Right here in Kmart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know something, people are no fish, you know. When I go there, the place will place things. Sometimes I say, you got your snapper? I say, yes. I say, let me see it. I say, that's the water squirrel.
Yeah.
The Popeye squirrel.
That's by looking at one, and you see something, these people go and buy this the water fish.
Yeah.
Then I look at him, I can tell you how long they had him on fridge.
Serious
right
thing.
away.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at the eye.
Yeah, he always had a bulge.
How long he been in that freezer.
So, like, you've been around, you know about it.
Well, you know me.
Serious thing.
You know
yeah,
what
man.
it is,
no, I don't know who it is.
The Undertaker.
Okay, the Undertaker. What? Yeah, man. Yeah. We not having about them here died, so died today. On the taker, okay.
All right. And
yeah.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Thanks for calling.
All right, Ray, Miss Alvin, we have one quick break, and then we'll come back.
We do the clip.
Good compliments of the National Archive. We have a clip to share with us, so stay tuned, please.
Sometimes having a middleman is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to insurance. Do you know that when it comes to cost, ease, speed, and peace of mind, insurance brokers ranked higher than when customers buy direct? So, for all your insurance needs, call Fidelity Insurance. We're the middleman you want. Call us today at 949-7822. Fidelity. We're good for you.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Fathers all around the world are ready for Father's Day. What they're not ready for is more socks. Show Dad a whole lot of love this Father's Day with the Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus from Flow and get $150 off the price. Give the big man the handset he deserves to upload, download, message, and stay connected in style from Flow and save. Because this Father's Day, socks just won't cut it. See in store for full details. Terms and conditions apply. Celebrate Dad this Father's Day with Flow.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory-breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Support our port, support our tourism.
You know government's responsibility is to create an economic environment where Caymanian businesses can thrive. The cruise industry brings $200 million worth of revenue each year. The cruise berthing facility will protect and grow the cruise industry, providing entrepreneurial opportunities for Caymanians.
Looking forward, looking bright.
Learn more and spread the word.
Support our port, support our tourism.
Headlines. With the latest headlines.
Headlines.
All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Headlines.
Turning to international news.
Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Radio Cayman News.
Headlines.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
See Wha Ah Sayin is a special feature of Talk Today with contributions from the National Museum, a language, history, and culture show on Radio Cayman 89.9 and 93.9 FM. See Wha Ah Sayin?
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And in the studio, Mr. Alvin McLaughlin joins us. Now, maybe we could christen Mr. Alvin the honorary sort of Secretary of State for East End. What do you think, Mr. Alvin? The diplomatic mission.
We have to clear it with everybody else first. Can we do the clip?
I think she says we have some calls. Who's on which? What are we doing?
Let's do the calls first, and then we see.
All right, we go to the calls. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, I didn't realize the premier was going to be there. I was trying to call back about the conservation and stuff like that was being discussed earlier.
Yeah, it's the See What I Saying, and we have Mr. Alvin McLaughlin. We were talking about the Coxswain Grouper.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Alden McLaughlin. I'm sorry.
Alvin. Yeah. No, the important
V is important.
Yeah. The important V. And if you're from West Bay, Alvin.
Yeah, the W.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Alvin McLaughlin.
I just wanted to make one very quick comment. I've talked about this for years. I've been here 55 years, and I think most of you know what I stand for when it comes to the conservation of this country. And I would like to see, well, let's put it this way, first of all, 27,000 people here on work permits. Every one of them have the same rights that you have, I have, and everything, to go out there during the conch season, during the lobster season, pick up conchs, pick up lobsters, get fish, and they have the same rights as we have as Caymanians. I personally don't agree with that. That needs to stop because we cannot continue to allow people to get what they want, or to do this. They can't do it in some of their own countries, and we need to start making sure that we preserve things for the Caymanian people. This is a very important thing. Another couple of generations from now, we're going to be out of fish, we're going to be out of conch, and we're going to be out of lobster. That's the way we're going. And I just wanted to point that out. I feel very strongly about this, and it's time that we took a look at this situation and try to start to curb some of what's going on. And again, not everybody out of 27,000 people are going to go out there and do this, but the fact is that they have the same rights of the Caymanian has to go and get lobster.
But
fish.
not always the same ideals. Like we'll throw back little small fish, but I've seen certain individuals or certain nationalities that take like these tiny little fish, they kill them out.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Something to consider. But again, like everything else, is there to will. Thank you very much, sir. And I believe we got one more call. Welcome. Thank you for sharing. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sterling. Good afternoon to Ray, and good afternoon to the true superstar, Mr. Alvin, a.k.a. Alwin McLaughlin.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Gents, you guys do a fantastic job. I said that yesterday, but Mr. Alvin, I wanted to ask a favor of you, sir.
Yes, sir.
You need to prepare a cookbook.
Yes, sir.
With instructions for people like me that can't cook.
Mm-hmm.
But you can eat.
Right. Because your legacy is that of being a chef.
Yeah.
And I would like to at least try to do something half as good as the food that I've gotten from you over the years.
Okay,
but
sir.
I need a roadmap.
Yes, sir. I have a name for it. I will name that roadmap the cookbook for those that buns the wear water. So I'll give you all the ingredients that it won't burn, but it be named the book that provide you from burning water. Because some people, they can't boil water without burning it. Okay, we have a lot like that, a lot of chefs.
I eat good. I eat far better than I cook, so
okay.
I just need help from you. And I just wanted to say thanks for being there in the middle of them two jokers today, because it's a classic show.
Yeah.
You're the only one making any sense. So
yeah, okay, cool. But Sterling making sign telling me now that
to wrap it up.
When Ray was baby, they had feed him with nuts bottle, putting nuts bottle in a slingshot and feed him. You believe that?
When it comes to Ray, anything is possible. Enjoying the show, guys. Keep it up.
Hey, thanks for calling. Thanks again. I think Miss Susan said we can get some more calls.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
Get that clip in.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. On again here, Leon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Green.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Very interesting the program. You went from one thing to the other, and you covered a lot of different things there. So I got a little bit confused there because I thought we started. Well, we've now learned that the East End group or Coxon group or Boston group, but it's really come from Nassau then, it's a Nassau group.
Yeah.
So therefore, the people who bring it in, you're saying people are bringing in group out of season, and the fishermen were quite angry. Can't blame them for that. But then they're bringing them from Nassau. Where they're bringing them from then, since it's Nassau group, and they're bringing them and selling them here, and they made a law that you can't catch them in the season, right? Is that right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
a law.
Yeah.
So therefore, they should have told the supermarket and stuff, hey, but they can't buy them. Then you can't bring them in here. The Department of Environment should be responsible for doing it. I don't know. Things get so confusing now. And then you're talking about Santa Claus bringing the groupers. They said Christmas time.
No, I said after Santa Claus comes the grouper.
He didn't bring them. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, he never bring them, but they're just saying that after Santa Claus comes the grouper, you have Santa Claus and season, and then the grouper season.
The season, no.
Okay.
So, if Santa Claus bring them then out of the grouper season, then you can still use it. Anything Santa Claus brings supposed to be blessed, you can use it.
Serious
I
thing.
can take it. Serious business. But tell me something, with all this confusion and all this, where we're deciding, and you're saying that playing solitaire, is that what you're saying, Ray? Something about solitary or solitaire? I was playing at the time. I don't know. I'm getting confused, you know. But what I think would straighten all this out, since, like I said a while ago, we're in a referendum mode, let's hold some referendums on the different things, on the questions, on issues. See what's more important than the group of issue and the not all issue, and figure out who to call it what and what to call it why. Maybe we'll go on with a string of referendums since the people in that mood now.
You're in a fighting mood today.
Yeah, man.
A happy time. No, it will be a happy
Son,
time.
you won't upset the government.
Well, maybe while we're in a referendum, we'll have an early election. Not a referendum, but let me be here.
Anyhow,
Yes,
it's very interesting to learn a lot of things from the show. Here with Mr. Alvin on there. It's Alvin or it's Alwin?
Alvin, A-L-V-I-N.
I know you usually put it the W, you know, Alwin.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's all. I'll get that straight too.
Yeah, and here from West Bay, he'll be Alvin. All right, hey, thank you, sir, and please forgive us for interjecting there. As we go to our news, there are some callers. There's that clip from our National Archive, and then there's also Ray. So we'll get back to each thing when we come back. Stay tuned.
Radio K-Man. Radio K-Man's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
The Economics and Statistics Office releases the Occupational Wage Survey for 2017, which shows the average monthly basic earnings and average monthly total compensation for some 282 occupations. The OWS was conducted across all types of businesses. There were 1,270 respondents who supplied data on 19,215 employees. The average compensation in the Cayman Islands was $4,550 a month, with Caymanian employees earning $4,696. The average for non-Caymanian employees, $4,379. In international headlines, U.S. President Donald Trump says he called off an airstrike against Iran before planes were in the air because he was concerned about how many people might die in the operation. In an interview with CBS, he elaborated on the decision, saying he did not think it was proportionate when he learned 150 people could die during the airstrike. Iran shot down an unmanned aircraft recently, claiming it was in their airspace. The U.S. says it was not. European leaders, meantime, are being guarded in their responses to the deepening tensions between the U.S. and Iran, urging both sides to step back from confrontation. Influential European countries have for months now been steering a delicate path between Washington and Tehran, ever since President Donald Trump's administration last year pulled out of a nuclear agreement with Iran that the European Union is keen to keep intact. Those are your headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Wow, it seems I buy a battery every year.
Oh, for real? You should buy your car battery from Vantman. Their batteries are tough. I have a 3-year warranty on mine.
Oh, I know that trick. I take it back and they charge me a percentage of the price.
Hear me out, bro. Not at Vamp Bobo. You can get a 3-year full warranty, no charge. And if they install it at Vamp, it includes free towing and jumping service. And let me tell you, you will never have to get your hands dirty changing no battery.
Get Motorcraft Max or Plus battery for 20% off when it's installed by the service department at Vamp Motors on Walkers Road. Now that's a deal you can get charged up about. Vamp Motors, keeping you on the road.
Extended through June.
Always separate debris from household garbage after a hurricane hits. Debris includes roofing materials, downed tree branches, and metals. All items of debris must be placed in separate piles to the front of the property or at a side that is easily accessible to collection trucks. Debris must be placed in a location that will not cause obstruction to roadways or come in contact with electrical lines. For more post-hurricane waste management tips, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky.
Support our tourism.
Tourism is estimated to contribute 25 to 30% to our GDP, and 80% of our tourism industry comes from cruise. You do the math. It's time to build the piers and protect our cruise tourism industry into the future.
Looking forward, looking bright.
Learn more and spread the word.
Support our port, support our tourism.
See Wha Ah Sayin is a special feature of Talk Today with contributions from the National Museum, a language, history and culture show on Radio Cayman 89.9 and 93.9 FM. See Wha Ah Sayin?
And welcome back. Good company, Mr. Alvin. We're getting some recipes here, what?
Recipe?
Yes. He gave me the recipe for custard top cornbread.
I think we're talking about we're talking about cocks and grouper. We're talking about the processing of the fish, the grouper itself. So we're gonna have a clip from our National Archive. It's the oral history. Every time they could give me, what is it called? Oral history. This is not. I'm not doing this intentional. Like I left there and I said, okay, I got it now.
Yeah. And this is from the memory bank.
No, they don't want to call it memory bank no more.
Okay,
no, see, that's it. Oral history program or something. It's a criminal national thing. Archive.
Oh, Mr.
And this is I gotta get some licks. They're listening now. Miss Martha Scott, and she's from the Brack. She was born in 1933.
21st of July.
She's gonna talk to us about drying the fish. Yeah.
Right. And I also, speaking of fish, I remember in the days when the grouper season.
Oh, yes.
And the men would go either up to the end of the bluff there, that's a grouper hole, and down Little Cayman, and catch the fish. I am telling you, by the hundreds.
Yeah.
And they would salt those fish, just fillet it and salt it, and hang them on what we call ranges, big long lines out near to the beach. They would do it because, you see, flies might come. And but if you salted it good, you didn't have to worry. Rarely would see a fly around.
And these ranges now, what exactly did they look like?
Well, they were just big lines, maybe of ropes.
Ropes.
It could have been ropes or whatever. Or very big fishing lines, you know.
Stretched between
two poles.
Okay.
Sometimes you'd have a third pole in the middle if it was a
long one.
Yes.
And it'd be just one length? length across, or would there be several?
They would have usually one length, but then they would have several of those around, you know.
Oh, I see. So there'd be a lot of them. Like clotheslines almost.
Yes, that's it, like a clothesline. And sometimes
how would they hang them
sometimes
on
they
it?
were done in wires. You know, the wire that you had the clothesline, made the clothesline. Sometimes it would be from those on wires they would put across.
And how would they fasten the fish onto the
line? That was easy. You took and you made a little incision into the tail of the fish.
Yes.
And then you put a string through that of thatch.
Okay, and tied
you
it
usually
on.
tied two together, you know, one a little apart.
Yes.
And then that was two hung here, two hung there, all the way down.
That, yes.
And then...
This is after you've put the salt on them.
Yes, oh yes. And there's a certain way too, I remember, that you scorch that fish. You got to scorch like from the head come down, you know, down, down. Because if you hung it the other way, not by the tail, but by the head part, then the salt
would
rains
all
out.
fall off, yeah.
It not only fall out, but it would rain out.
Oh,
and it
yes,
wouldn't
because
save the,
they're
wouldn't cure
still
the
wet,
fish.
yes.
Yes. And,
but you'd have to spread the fish out to
do that.
scorch it
Oh,
and
yes.
to put the salt
Oh,
on.
yes.
And this would be big, heavy rock salt, would it, or just ordinary?
No, ordinary salt.
Ordinary salt.
Yeah. But there would be times too in World War II when we couldn't get salt, and we would boil down the water and get salt, or else we'd go. Sometimes the rock holes would be dried out, and there would be salt in them.
And scrape
and
that
then
up.
if we had rock salt, we'd get rock salt, and we would pound that in the mortars, and get
fine.
salt. Yes, and then when that fish was dried, bone dry.
So you leave it out there for days then?
Oh yes, a long time. And that would be bone dry. And then they would pack it away, sometimes in crocus bags. Lots of fish. And then it would come in so handy when they had northwesters or northeasters, and you couldn't get to fish.
Fresh fish.
Yes, you would use that. It was delicious. It was superior taste into codfish.
Yes.
Yes,
I
it is.
can imagine it would.
It's delicious. Sometimes they would make their coconut stew out of that, but you would boil it first and get some of that salt out.
Yes, I was just going to ask you, because I know when we would have salt cod when I was a child, or salt herring, it would be, my mother would soak it overnight.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You
Before
soak
she
it,
cooked
or
it.
if you were in a hurry and hadn't remembered, you boil it a little and get some of that salt out, and then you put it on top of your bread can, you know.
And the coconut dinner was usually made with the salt fish, was it?
Well, no, you made it with fresh fish too.
Oh, you made it with fresh fish too?
Yeah, but you just seasoned that fresh fish. They would season that and put it down for a little bit.
Yes.
You know, that all the seasoning.
So you didn't make anything, a special thing with the codfish then?
Well, not special.
I
We
mean,
used it for different.
I say codfish because
we used
that's what I'm
we
used
done
to.
what we call minced fish too. That's what we used to call it. We would boil it, and then we'd pick it in pieces.
Yes.
And then we would we had shallots. When I grew up, we didn't have onions at first. We had shallots and scallion. And then the pepper, the hot peppers from the trees, you know, mutton pepper or Scotch bonnets. And we had lard those days, not cooking oil. And we would melt that in the frying pans, and then we'd put all that seasoning in. And I can smell it now, you know, and let that saute. And then we would put that fish into it, and we would turn it over and over, and then you cover it down and let it simmer on a low fire for some time, and that's delicious even now.
And you would serve that over what?
Well, no, we serve that with our ground provision, as you call it, yam, potato, and cassava, and things like that.
I see.
Yes, we would get rice sometimes, but the truth is, you didn't bother that much with rice. No, and even from those potatoes, those sweet potatoes, they would make what some people called Thai leaf, some people called it a potato duckner. And
duckanu, they call it in Jamaica.
And you would grate that potato, and you would put coconut milk and sugar in it, and a little flavoring, or some people would put nutmeg, and then you put that together like a little dumpling, pat it, and put it into that banana leaf. You get the banana leaves and wash them, and put it into that and boil them, and they were delicious.
You make little parcels like.
Yes.
And boil that,
we would have them for breakfast, or you could have them anytime you wanted. It was delicious.
So when you were growing up, you had plenty to eat.
Yes.
You had lots of love.
Oh.
You really didn't want for anything.
We didn't know that we were poor. Honestly, you didn't know you were poor because nobody else had anything more than you had.
Wasn't that the secret?
Yeah.
Really?
All right. That is from our National Archive. I think that last section, Mr. Alvin, you know, one of the things you shared at the beginning, your father had everything, the provisions, you had the sea.
Bread kind of limited.
So that was a clip, compliments of our National Archive interview on West End and came back 19 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, when Susan was just a teenager.
Yeah. Modeling on the stage.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so woman probably she gone cross Jordan too.
Jordan. So she talked about, and we just talked about her little, tie up, what do you call it again? Her little tie leaf in the broth. Breadfruit, banana leaf, I think. And they put, I forget what, like a bread kind, some mixture.
Sweet potato.
Mixture, there. And I think Jamaicans refer to it as blue draws.
Blue draws.
Dwayne will back me up on that.
No.
But that's different because we don't really use that. We don't really do that, but a lot of other cultures do.
Yeah, man.
Not just, that one.
All right. And Susan said we got 2 calls through, Ray. So when you're ready, you want to do that?
Okay, let's do them.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you for sharing.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, man, I was going to give you all a shout when I heard Mr. Peter Melbourne stressing the importance of that conservation about the work permit holders and stuff. You know, that is so critically important that I even feel like the charter boats that go out and do reef fishing, they should have a release program in place for them too. I mean, you know, because they take out more, clients than our environment can handle as far as our fish population.
Yeah, well, I think it probably, I mean, it's a point taken, but just on that, I think it probably depends on the particular charter operation, because I can speak to you very definitive about the ones I'm very, very aware of. They have a strong release program on some fish, and specifically on particular fish. So maybe it is a policy that we look at, but that's maybe a topic for another day. What's your view on this whole idea of the coxswain grouper and the like, and this notion of our culture, heritage, and since we have the good company of Mr. Alvin here?
Well, I caught me a nice Georgetown Nassau grouper, and I didn't know much about the closed and open season, but it was such a pretty fish, and I do know about conservation, and I had a lot of other fish that night, so I just hooked that one in the lip and barely caught him about 6 pounds. I let the fish go. I think I was more happy to really feel that feeling than that fish itself to just live for another day, I like fishing. I love fishing, and
I like catching.
Even
I love
myself,
you.
I just let them go if I don't hook them too deep now.
Okay.
And it's important, like I said, to preserve those and keep our population of fish out there. We need to really, step in and do some serious conservation efforts in that matter. And I did hear you mention something about some recipes being passed around.
Yeah. If we can get to talk to him, he is supposed to give us some recipes.
All right.
You want to listen?
The top cornbread.
That has been passed around. There's a recipe being written down. It's not the best writing, but I can take a picture of it and email it to you.
No,
all right. I appreciate that.
No, you won't understand this, right?
And I'm growing up, like you said, here in West Bay, we didn't do much of that grouper, salting. But I remember my grandfather salting the jacks and stuff, and some barra. But me, I didn't like, the salt fish like that. I preferred mine fresh, and so. But it's an interesting show that you all got going there, and appreciate both of y'all's efforts in that.
Not
and,
Mr. Alvin's either.
Oh yeah, well, I just want I don't want to say the wrong name.
Alwin.
Alwin.
When he come West Bay, he's Alwin. When we throwing rocks at him, it's Alwin go home. Go on back, Cox and Grouper.
Yeah. All right.
All right, sir.
Gentlemen, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there about that.
All right.
I
think about $5 now, but yeah.
All right. Thank you. No,
Thanks for calling,
I
guys.
catch the voice as well. All right. Respectful, sir. Another call, Miss Susan. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for calling.
Your recipe, you know.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Just talking about earlier on, you were all talking about the saltfish, the Portuguese word, right?
Yeah.
And then, you say I think it's bacalhau, you know.
Bacalhau?
Pampas, yeah.
Yeah, bacalhau.
Okay.
And that is I think the Portuguese for saltfish.
Saltfish, bacalhau.
And I think if you go deeper with it, you might find that it's native. It's the native Indians.
Tainos.
Yeah, the Tainos. Just for that spelling, too.
No, it's bacalhau.
Bacalhau, can pampas.
Bacalao. Bacalao. Yeah, bacalhau.
And then bacalara as well.
Which is
so dried salted fish.
Yeah. And then Alvin talk about bacalhau con papas. That would be saltfish and potatoes.
Yes.
Papas, yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything that we can try?
Okay. No.
I mean, because right now
and when you say that, that's what, in a sauce or anything? What is that? Or just
like how you would do that.
Fish and
like how you would, you pick it, you clean the fish up and you pick it like when you do it, cook it like how you cook it with Akin codfish, Akin codfish together.
Okay.
You do all your seasoning, then your hot pepper, your sweet pepper. And then they got a potato. After you do all this, you put it on a low fire, you slice the potato, it.
Potato.
Round, slice it and put it in it.
Hey, thank you for sharing. Anything else you want to? All right.
Nope. You want to share the dial too?
I appreciate the call. But
that was what we need.
This is just another indication of how much, we see.
Okay, before we run out of time, the nickname thing started from, we talked about Sports Day.
Yeah.
And we never really said that the Cox and Grouper was a performance-enhancing drug. And that's because apparently back in the day, East Enders used to take away the cup all the time.
Yeah, and that was the reason they said eat some of Cox and Grouper.
Yeah, it was a performance-enhancing drug. Yeah. Now, the question I had was, where was them cups? Because they would say they would take them. No, true.
They had them lots of cups. Yeah.
Anybody know anything about that out there?
The last when I leave school, they had a whole ton of them there. Yeah, but
did you go back later on in night?
No.
Okay. Okay.
He didn't have any jackets.
So stuff like that, that was one thing I wanted to find out out of that. Anybody know what happened to those? Are they still around?
I don't know.
Because I've seen a picture. I got a picture now with a group. I need to show you that on Facebook. We got a great sharing thing, like an old Cayman, it's called.
Yes.
A couple of groups that they got some great pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
But before we run out of time, recipes and how we can eat this. We talked about once you get the dried fish, you can mince it. I actually like eating it just raw like that.
Yeah, I ate it raw before. I like it roast also too.
Beef jerky or something almost.
It's good roast too, but when you drink a lot of water. But
yeah, my sister likes. I don't like it like that. And they put lime on it.
Yeah,
I don't like it like that. I just eat it.
But after it's salted, you can stew it now. You just take it, you cut it up in the size you would cook it in, and you soak it in water. Some people soak it overnight, but water was so precious them days you couldn't waste it like how they do now. But soak it in water, and then you throw that water when you soak it in another water, and
at least 3 waters, right?
And you get
about 3 water. Yeah.
Okay. And then what time? How long that'll take?
No, you can do it. You could take
just one after
15, 20 minutes and just shake it back in the water. And
that's to get rid of the salt.
Get rid of the salt. And I mean, when you go cook now, you can't put no salt in the pot.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to add a little bit because...
You hear that, Daddy? Don't add extra salt. If you're not sure that you added salt before, don't go, I better think I need to add salt.
You can always put in, but you can't take out.
Well, that's what I told him. I'm like,
yeah.
But so, and then tell me something about the quality of the fish. I heard that even with the salty turtle, that the flavor is
corn
enhanced.
turtle.
Huh? Yeah. Sorry, corn turtle. The flavor is enhanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bought from the farm some, but I would take the chance about over a year ago. I bought 20 pounds, and I salted because they salted too. But then
turtle you talking about?
Yeah, turtle $18 a pound if they got corn it for you. And I said no, I can do the corn, and so I told Mr. Mac what the purpose of it. And he fixed me up. I got my 20 pounds.
You know how long we've been trying to get us a corn turtle dinner?
I saw that,
get him?
And trust me, I don't care if they hear me, but I ain't gonna call you name. I had to wear 7 dead medicine eating it when I trust me, yeah. They confessed to me over 40.
That thing there.
They confessed to me that it was over 40 years that. Yep. She had eaten a corn turtle.
Now we got narrowed down to so she's a 7-day Adventist, supposedly.
Yeah, and it was so good.
She's over 40.
Even the 7-day Adventists were buying it.
So maybe you guys can call in and say we think it could be. So this is so
you know, I promise that between me and God, I would never tell anybody.
Clarice, it's just between us. No, so tell okay. So the stew, it's just like what we talked. The lady just talked. It's a regular,
just
coconut stew.
Yeah,
you don't like that thing with all the
nutriments.
It's a fish dinner.
Yeah,
no,
thank you.
You know what I
and then you just throw it. Just instead the fish that you use.
After we wash the salt with the grouper, and then we got into the grouper. Or, or the turtle. You wash the salt out. And then you have all your bread kind boiling down in your coconut milk, and then you put the grouper in, and then you put your dumpling on top, like a sour dumpling, or
you add a little sugar to that
dumpling. Oh yeah, yes, and
that big gummy and nice.
Yes, and you go on, then you do your cornmeal dumpling. I didn't like the dumpling they do them with baking powder. I don't like that, too soft. And my gum.
I think I like that. I think I would like. We talking about the cornmeal dumpling.
Yeah,
I think I would prefer that. I don't like the hard cornmeal dumpling.
Yeah, well, I love them hard.
Yeah, trust me.
And little sugar in it, pinch of sugar.
Yeah,
hard and sweet, much better.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to serve it, now you take out all the bread kind.
Take out all the bread kind. Put that in one thing. You put the dumpling in one, the fish in one, and then you can control your gravy. You fix the plate up. And give them the gravy or whatever with it.
And cooking time is the same.
Same, yeah. Cooking time. It don't take long to cook.
You put the fish in last, huh?
The fish go in, and then the dumpling, yeah. All right, you put the dumpling first, and then you put the fish on top. Something.
Have you started using cabbage? I love a cabbage.
Yeah, cabbage.
Will you get a look about?
Yeah,
you tried it? Have you tried it?
Listen.
Sometimes I juice the cabbage and drink the juice.
Oh,
you gotta be a man, drink that. But she rough. Yes. It's rough. Trust me, you drink that,
juice
about
cabbage.
Half a cup of that, and when you drink that, you have said what the little phrase Mr. Danwood used to say, "Ratchakadoodle, man, you must." If you hit that,
wow.
Yeah, that's very strong, man.
You're getting an education here today.
Burning your stomach,
wow,
but it's good.
For
the juice, good for anything, I guess.
To burn your stomach
the
out.
juice of the cabbage.
No, I never heard that one.
You juice it and drink it.
I just said we started using it in our fish dinner. Have you had it in fish dinner? A big chunk of it.
I boil it, like take a big piece of it and boil it. With onion and tomato and sit down. I enjoy eating it.
Yeah, I like cabbage. We don't really have that. I don't
love
think
cabbage.
we have that now. Never had that in our ground before. But so, okay, tell us something else we missed, because we've gone through most of the notes with you now. Mince. Oh, okay. Go through how many different ways you can do it.
You can, as I say, you can mince it. You boil it after. You soak it out. You get the salt again. You boil it.
And then you mince
and then you When they say pick it, you pick it apart. Mm-hmm. You do your onion, you do your pepper, your garlic.
It's almost like a little crab, fried crab.
Yes,
thing.
and then you fix it up, you fry that, and then you put that in a bit and gone clear.
Mince.
Yeah.
Mince and then frying it.
Frying it, well, normally how we used to prepare it for frying, you see, when a lot of people didn't use fry it fresh. They corn it like today, and they wash it out in the morning, and you hang that out on the range, and you make that water and everything dry out that, and you just go and you keep cutting that and you fry that. Number one.
So almost no matter how you do it, you always go through that 3 soaking.
Yeah, soaking, you had the salt.
Three soaks, yeah.
And
so that was mince and fry, and then we did stew.
Stew,
what's the next one?
And how they used to eat it? They used to eat it with when you fry it. I eat it before with Johnny cake. I eat it with fritter. I eat it with.
And this is another this Johnny cake thing now. Flapjack.
Flapjack, yeah.
What's the difference between flapjacks, Johnny cake, and fritters?
Well,
fritters
you cook with the oil. You fry them in the oil.
You drop it in.
And flapjack, you just you put that in the pot. You flatten it out, and you put it in the pot, and you make it low fire.
But that's bacon or just like a frying?
Yeah, well, it's just it's sitting. You just keep turning it over. You turn it over like a one side. Like how you do a pancake.
Fritters about it. Read about it. You drop it in. Flapjack is more like a dough, like.
Yeah.
I was just asking for a frying.
Yeah. I know. If you phone a friend.
Yep. And
a friend of fritters, flapjack, and Johnny cake.
People hear them calling what we call fritters now. The new name they want to give it is festival. You understand? Nothing goes so. It's fritters. They gonna continue calling it fritters. No festival.
But even that's why you can charge more for them.
Yeah, something like that.
But something that increasingly I think we need to recognize that even though things are changing and there's more and more exposure to certain things, words that run down, it'll become part of you, but you need to preserve what you have and understand
That's right.
it. Stew. For me, I refuse, and I'm going to make it a point out of just me, part of it. Right? And if it's not a fritter, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Right? It has to be done a certain way.
Serious thing.
And I can stand by it. And it's not because you're insular. It's not because you're xenophobic. It's because...
Yeah, you're a little phobic.
I don't want that.
I'm afraid of certain things, yeah?
Yeah.
Scornful.
Very. But the practice, though, Mr. Alvin, I mean, I look at salt and fish, for instance. Like I said, we did Barra specifically.
Yeah.
My brothers can do it. I probably could do it because I saw it.
But I think your problem. I think
I can't reach the line.
That's what exactly what I was saying. He's saying he can't reach the line.
He's too sharp.
He had to get them clogs like we used to wear in the 70s. Well, they used to wear in the 70s. Yeah. Maybe then he would still have jump.
Still jump. That's true.
To get on the ranges.
And we don't do these practices. Partly, legislation coming in, there's a recognition that we need to protect and preserve. People accepting that. Mr. Milburn's comment that we need to maybe do certain things. Right? But the practice now of salting the fish, the practice of some of these other things, they're not commonplace today. And probably in East End, Mr. Gerloop, yourself, probably one of the few that do it.
Can do it, yeah.
And it's not being passed on. You probably can't pass it on because just accepting the fish pot and spare fishing, there are significant restrictions that you say, what's the point, right? And there's a way to maintain the practice without necessarily offending the conservation efforts.
Right.
So it's a difficult...
Other nationalities and stuff, you know that whole...
But there's that too, right? But I mean, it's for us.
It's so much things we should preserve and keep, but yes... gone,
Yeah, and they've got the buzzword now of cultural heritage.
Yes.
What our cultural heritage was. Well, that's never going to change. That's done good. That's established. What we need to establish is this culture that, Cayman culture, that we want to continue. That they've got it like that. It's nobody's doing it. There's this other culture now, and we have to steer away there. I don't understand why we're not steering ourselves 100% to focus on the the only place that's doing this Cayman culture. I don't know, all these 150 nationalities. We're not supposed to be doing this, but we're doing this. For my opinion,
we're doing it. Really.
So somebody from India, I can't go India. They're not bigging up Cayman culture over there in India.
Yes.
They're not doing it in Canada. They're not doing it in France. They're not doing it in Germany. They're not doing it in Jamaica. This is the only place that they're doing this type of stuff. Us. This is the only place we're doing it. So if it goes here, then it's gone.
That's true.
You might get some researcher in Japan come 100 years from now. That was a good culture in this Cayman Islands place.
Right. But something that Mr. Alvin, the caller, sorry, go ahead, sir. I was going to say the caller who asked you, I mean, almost in a sense, we as a society need to invest heavily in people like you and others. I have it even in my household to help publish a proper, authentic cookbook and how proper videos and demonstrations, because unless we cook with our parents or grandparents, they're cooking, and as they're cooking, they're talking, a little pinch of this, a little dash of that, a little bit of this. It isn't many people, not many people who would say, okay, well, because Stockholm bread, use this much sugar, this much thing. They can gauge it out, but it isn't as definitive.
Yeah, that's the trouble I found. You ask them how much you got to use, it's the size of the pot.
Yeah. Well, I can cook. I have a couple pots, and some of them hold all 40 pounds of beef. And every
you sure they're pots or they're drums?
You gotta get people. I got a second person help you with it. Every pound, every 5 pounds of beef that I put in that pot, I add 1 teaspoon of salt.
Teaspoon?
Yeah, teaspoon.
Okay.
Not a cup. Teaspoon.
Teaspoon.
Wow. Okay.
So, if I put that 40 pounds, I put 5 pounds, 1 teaspoon, teaspoon of salt to every 5 pounds gone in that. So, 5 times.
Is it 8 5 is 40?
Thank you.
Is that what? Yeah. Something else. We put it in a spreadsheet.
No more salt. You don't have to put no more salt into that. She's on the money. You check it out.
Yeah, man. Well,
and onions for that.
You going home now?
Yeah, I'm going home. I go home. I'm gonna cook something too.
I feel like I need to. I'm serious about with the hunger right now.
Raising up for you.
This is the problem with this show. I start when we start talking about food.
All right, Mr. Alvin, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope that it encourages all of us.
Yes.
And especially to spend time with our parents and our grandparents, and even some of us have some siblings that are really, really good. I'm good at eating. That's the gift that I have.
Okay.
I'm trapped.
All right, Susan, thank you for the few extra minutes.
Thank you, Mom.
Anything else you want to share with us, Mr. Alvin? We really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, well, another thing I would like to see try and preserve is during my time at Pirates Week, I used to get 2 gentlemen to dry a cowhide for me and used to make wampus. I had 40 odd pairs of wampus in my possession, and now I don't have 1 foot. I gave this one, lend this one, nobody bring them back. And now a lot of people are calling and asking for them. I even had the gift shops, that caters, the tourists and thing, to ask me for wampus. If I buy wampus, if I make wampus, they will buy them. But you need to go through a process. And them our old people used to preserve all of those hides and things. But now I don't know what they do with them. But we need to preserve, start preserving them. Get some put around the place. Like in your area where you work in there. You need a few. I don't know if you all have any there. I see one piece of old car tire there. That look like probably the first car came, man. How that look? But
I think what we need to do now is take on board a suggestion that we create a PSA. And run some ads asking people to return Mr. Alvin's wampus. So if you bought them, bring them back.
He said 40 so he want 50 back.
What I would like to see, I'd like to see we get some high dry and stuff and keep it, and
Yeah.
And if we make I issue some of them to the school.
Either that, we tan some of them people hides from.
Anyway. Them. Even them I would wear them now. I feel more comfortable.
Did I tell you I made some out of just them cushion, them what you call it, nice colorful mats.
All right, well, we'll have you back in again, Mr. Alvin. And thanks very much. And I be honest with you, I look at the notes that Ray prepared, just that from all other things, and it just shows you, again, I keep saying this, you know, from East End to West Bay, there are significant differences, right? That's one.
But we still like you doing that.
Oh yeah,
we're still all right with you.
Oh yeah.
Even though you're from,
and that's just when Grand came on, and then when you come,
you're from
that
back place,
from the part,
So the difference is,
I mean, you come as people probably pelt you still, but
All right, well, I think we need to continue to delve into our history and recognize there's a lot more.
Thanks, Mr. Alvin, for everything you do, keeping it alive and everything.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you don't have cultural heritage. You just live it.
We live it. That's right.
You don't spell it. Read it.
You don't spell it.
So Ray's gonna be by your house shortly.
He'll come get a custard top. Come, I could get some corn turtle.
Yeah, turtle.
When you doing that next?
Well, I don't know. Normally.
We could get
Pirates Week is a good time to it.
No,
we want us know.
You want it now?
Dead by then.
Yeah. All right, to our listeners, thank you so much. If you see Mr. Alvin, you know he is the honorary diplomat. You know, so.
And if you missed the show, first of all, shame on you. If you're in your car, you're trapped in your car, you don't want to leave, get out. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, sadly.
Sadly.
Yeah.
We're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't look at Dwayne.
Thank you.
When you do it.
Yes.
All right.
But we're on YouTube. Check us out, Radio Cayman on YouTube, and search for Wha Ah Sayin.
All right.
You want to be the grouper.
Thank you again, Mr. Alvin. Honest to God, it's a real honor to be in your company. And to Susan, thank you. No, I hope that this weekend reminds you that you are Bracker first and a Radio Cayman employee after 4th. Monday. Until then, be blessed.
Thanks again.
The next show you're preparing.
See what I saying?
See what I saying?
See what I saying? It happening every third Friday on Talk Today.
Jointly produced by the National Museum and Radio Cayman. A language, history, and culture show. Remember, it's every third Friday on 89.9 and 93.9 FM.
Proudly sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
See what I'm saying?